Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my Tuesday live stream where I do photo editing. You can send your images in. I edit them here live using Olympus Workspace, and if it's a different camera, I'll use Lightroom. But it's always fun to see what you guys send in. There's always excellent images, and if you want me to just critique only, just when you upload the file, just name it critique only in the file name or any other messages you want to send me. That's the easiest way to see it for me. And also, I put my image out there. I give you a raw image that you guys can edit. And I try to pick different ones that are kind of challenging. They're not epic images of like some canyons or mountains. They're usually just stuff I take when I'm on a photo walk, but they have sort of their own individual challenges. And this week I picked one. It's a little bit high ISO, but it was of a squirrel, and I wanted to see how you guys did with just a very simple portrait shot of a squirrel, particularly with the sharpening of the fur and everything. And then it was relatively a low contrast color thing, but we'll talk about that later when we get to it. But you guys, it looks, I had a short preview just as I was downloading them, and they look really good. But let me take a look and see who's here. Let's see. We have Garrett. Oh, Garrett's maybe come later, but good. I'm glad you could come in for a couple minutes. And John follows and Plato and yeah, Joe Ellis has a Fujifilm now, shoots medium format, yes. Um, and Jeff Painter, good to see you. And yeah, I'm a little bit early today because I have to go out. I'm going out to lunch with a friend of mine. So I had to bump it up by 1 hour so I could make that on time. And Phil is here. Good to see you. Matt, Steve G. All right, awesome. So lots of folks here. Our usual crowd, it looks like. Hopefully, there's some new people here. Maybe you're interested in photo editing and seeing how it's done in real time. Because sometimes watching the tutorials on photo editing are hard to watch sometimes, right? Because they they talk about specific features and they go into detail about that, but it's not like an actual workflow where they just take something from scratch and just go, right? Everything is pre-planned. And I think doing it live kind of gives you an opportunity to see the thought process as we're going through the editing without, it's not scripted, right? Scripted videos sometimes are not as good as live, I think. Um, one of the things I was thinking about doing actually was doing a live video of me recording a video. 'Cause I have one I want to create. If I get back from lunch today in time, I'll try and make another video today. I might go live this afternoon with that video of me making a video. So, and that'll be almost a from scratch. I started a little bit last night and then I scrapped everything and I'm going to start over. And I said, well, maybe I can do a live video. But okay, Victor's here. Good to see you. And Dieng from Indonesia. Awesome. Goran, glad you could join us. But okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the images sent in today. If I remember how to push these buttons. Oh, here we go. Oh, I need to move myself over to the other side. 1 second. Ah, I'm not blocking the images. All right, awesome. So first one we have here is from Hasib. Hey, image writer, how are you today? No notification today. Wow. Yeah, and I'm not at my usual time. There'll probably be a bunch of people coming in at 10 o'clock my time, which is usually when I start these. And only recently, because for about 6 months I've been doing these at like 12 o'clock. And then I switched to 10 because, I'm trying to minimize how much time I spend in front of a computer these days till I get my posture and my neck in better shape. So I need to sit back actually. See, I'm already kind of leaning forward, and this is what this is what's going to cause pain the rest of my life if I don't get a good posture. Just just when you're young, you don't feel these things, right? But then when you get old, it creeps up on you, and then you realize, how bad. I mean, I envy people that have really good posture, stand up straight, you know, they're not hunching over all the time looking at their phone. Oh, hey, Roberto, good to see you. And Chow, Northrop did an editing. Adobe Enhance is the same thing you did last week. Yeah, I saw his thumbnail, but I didn't watch it. Because I did it and I wasn't that impressed. It just made the image bigger. Like I said, I got a moonshot that I did last night that I want to try and yeah, neck collar, right? I do have a neck collar. I was thinking about wearing it during the stream, but my neck's feeling good and I'm not taking any kind of painkiller at all. Normally I have to take an ibuprofen, but it's getting to where I don't even have to do that for a little while. By lunchtime I will, because especially after sitting down for a couple hours. Um, I don't know, bro. I know this is not a photo chat stream, but how was Tony's results? Were they okay, or were they the same as mine? Like whoop-de-doo, kind of. And I did this moonshot. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, that's the squirrel I edited today. Let's see. It's this one. No, that's the one I did last time. But yeah, I cropped in and I did another one last night. This is the one from a couple of nights ago. But I'm gonna upscale this one and see because people were saying if you crop in then upscale, it's better. I'm like, well, we'll find out, right? Uh, but okay. Let's get here to Hasib's image here of some flowers along a curb. Yeah, spring is here, isn't it? And then I have the active date up already. So EM10 Mark III with the Lumix 25 f1.7. So yeah, basic prime. 1/60th ISO 400. Yep, good settings. No complaints here. Um, the image just looks a little cool because I guess it's in the shade. And there's still a tiny, well, I guess it's okay. Might have been a little bit of a breeze. It looks like there's a tiny bit of motion blur. Maybe not. But like right here, where is this in the frame? Yeah, this should not be just fairly shallow at f3.2. So I'd have probably went to f5.6 or something, unless you wanted this depth of field here. But all right, let me put a little 4-minute timer. So I'm gonna crop out a lot of the stuff. His results were the same, right? And then yet his video gets like, 100,000 views for something I did in like 2 minutes, and that whoop-de-doo, right? But anyway, I mean, I'm not, I didn't give it a fair shot. I tried it without really giving it a lot of thought. I just, you click a button and see what happens. And that's the thing with even photo editing, right, in general, is you need to kind of understand what is the software doing so that you can optimize it and get better results. I just simply clicked, enhance or upscale or whatever, and that's what it came out with. But are there things that I cannot that I are there things that I can do to get better results that would be amazing, right? So I need to work on that a little bit before I have final judgment. But my initial impression is not great. Oh, music. Hey, how are you? All right, so we start this timer over again. Okay, I'm sorry, Habib. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna go square, and I'm gonna tilt it so that the flowers are hanging more in a downward direction. And let's fill the frame a little bit more. And I need to find the flower that was in focus. I guess it's this one, right? Um, I'm going to frame that flower just a little bit more to the top right, just so your eye goes to it at least, right? I think that's good. Then I'm going to warm, what is, oh, this is a, no, this is a raw image. Okay, my mistake. Let me just warm it up a little bit. And I'm going to pull the exposure down to bring the highlights in. And let me just crank up the sharpening here, turn off this noise filter. The noise filter will smudge details. Need a maybe a little magenta or warmth. Okay, how are we doing on details? Need maybe more exposure calm. Okay, good. All right, I know it's a little dark, but we'll come back to that. And give auto gradation if it's needed. Tiny bit. Good. And I'm going to pull it down again. Now we can bring the highlights back up. I think details are still good. I'm going to do some manual sharpening. Probably 2 pixels across. And threshold, I like to do 10 times whatever the pixels are. And what that should do is get rid of some of the sharpening effects in the soft areas, but keep it. 2 is too much. Let's try 1. 10. Okay. It'd have been nice to get a little more side lighting. The lighting here is a little soft, isn't it? All right, that's good enough. And the other thing I can do is I'm trying, let me try, well, clarity's not ideal here. I'm going to try. It's, all right, that's way too much. Let me just bring it in a subtle way. Clarity tends to clip highlights, and it's really good for speculars and gritty black and whites, but okay, we'll add a vignette and we'll call it right there. Okay, here's a before and after. Uh, yeah, so basically cropping out all of the leaves and the cement, but we're still getting that shallow depth of field look I think you were going for, Habib, without having to see everything else in the frame. I see what you were doing. I guess you were trying to balance the flowers and keep it within the environment, but then you really can't see the flowers. And I think um, now we can see the flowers and everything, right? All the different colors. I mean, I might saturate it a little more if I were to spend some more time on it, but um, I think that works. That works best if we look at that full screen. Yeah, that looks really good. Now we can see some of the details here. Um, but yeah, too bad it was in the shade. The lighting's very soft. All right, let's see. Critique only from DeMorgan. Gosh, I've seen this before, DeMorgan. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the crop, and the colors are very flat. Meaning, it's purple here, purple here. Let me see what a monotone. I think this would look better in monotone. And let me see what the colors are here. Uh, yeah, so we can do monotone and maybe just a yellow filter. Just that's not helping much. Go green. And definitely some clarity. Bring that out vignette. But yeah, I think this is an image that will work in black and white better. Um, and I would have probably gotten closer. What's your EXIF here? Um, you're wide open at f1.7. I would have probably gotten closer and shot this like at f4, so I could get more of the front of these petals in focus and sharp, along with these three. And f4 will still give you a nice blurry background because you'd be moving in closer. You'd be moving in closer to the flower, thereby decreasing your depth of field, right? Automatically, which I'm sure you're aware of. And then, and I'm just saying it out loud for the benefit of those that may not be aware of how depth of field works. And then get that whole flower in focus, and then keep the depth of field, and then maybe crop it without, or get the shot without this in the background, because this is a little distracting right here. Uh, but yeah, those are the things I would do differently if I were taking this image and I was on the scene there. I think those are things you could have done easily on the spot there. All right, let's go to the next one. And then Victor says, can you do a quick explanation of gradation in Workspace? I use it often. Actually, I use Lightroom because it's much easier for beginners. Yeah, the auto gradation basically pushes the tone curve of the image, right? And when you do auto, like I do auto a lot, auto is really good at not clipping the highlights, but pushing up the shadows so that you can see them. And that's why I like to use auto gradation a lot, particularly when I have to bring the exposure down to save some highlights. Like the first flower picture I did, if I edited that without bringing the exposure down and pushing the shadows up with auto gradation, um, I may have clipped the highlights, not be able to recover those and still make it look like a normally exposed image, not like low key. And then there's low key gradation, high key gradation, and those are designed to help you get low key and high key type images, which is a whole nother discussion. And I do use those time to time uh, when I'm inspired to do so, right? So that kind of sums it up. It's basically just pushing the tone curves of the image for you. And I choose auto gradation specifically because it's very good at pushing shadows without clipping highlights. Okay, we want to have one here from Alberto. Uh, yeah, Victor, that's not a bad idea. I'm sorry, reducing the saturation, but the problem is these colors are all very similar. So, you know, where's my saturation? It's way down here. It kind of works. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I could go for that too. But to me, I think it's always interesting to take black and white images of things that people would not normally do. They would normally do a color image. And this is an image I think is ideal for that kind of conversion because there was good separation when I converted it to black and white. Then you take it a couple of steps further in processing, and I think it'll be a really very interesting creative image. All right, I'm sorry, Jose. Let's get back to yours. Okay. Let's see. We have a scene at a park here. It looks like very strong cast here of yellow. So it's golden hour based on how long the shadows are, right? But the camera didn't do a good job with the white balance. It's a little bit still too green. And compositionally, I think we're okay. We have this, clearly you're going for this line to draw the eye into the frame. And then there's reflections of the trees, and then we have some interesting ducks here. So for me, this scene has too much information. I would have liked to have focused on the reflections with maybe a one person or these ducks and the reflections. But we have so many things here. And then this bridge with this, God, there's so many individual items in here I really like. I don't like the parking lot, but there's lots of great stuff. Right in here is a great shot. This person laying down here is a great shot. And then the reflections of the trees is a great shot. So let me think about cropping here. I'm definitely going to crop out this parking lot. Let's stay 4 by 3 for now. This curved line is not really leading the eye into anything. Normally when you have a leading line or something to draw your eye, it needs to go to something like the subject. It's not in this case. It's framing the subject to some extent. If the subject is this reflection, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe let's see if we want the subject to be this reflection, and I go a bit wider and come in. Eh, working for me. Go back to a vertical. Cropping, composition is always the hardest part. Then the editing is relatively simple, usually. Try that. Okay, I like this. All right, so I just need a little bit more asymmetry here. A little more spacing. No, no. Back. Come in this way. Okay, maybe a vertical crop of the center. Yeah, that's that's where I'm going, right, Plato? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna soft focus it, make it kind of surreal. And ironically, I always sharpen soft focus images to make them a little bit crispier. And let's adjust this white balance somehow. This is the next problem I'm having with it. I go a little bit cooler, a little more magenta, just about 5800. Okay, now let's pull the tone curves and add some contrast in right there. And this white balance, though, is driving me nuts. When I have a white balance problem, I usually just go black and white. And this part is a little bit too bright, so let me pull it in this way. Okay, good. Saturation. A slight tilt. All right, let me let that render. Okay, I think wish wish I could pull this yellow off a little bit. It's just a little bit too strong. Yeah, Randy, I'm early. Push this, and I have a lunch date today, so I had to start a little bit earlier. All right, I'm gonna go with that. Uh, it needs to be warm or cooler though, but I'm sorry. I gotta back off this saturation. Go a little bit cooler. Go to 5K. All right, I gotta stop. I'll be here all day trying to fix it because white balance problems, I just like black and white, but it looks better in color. So there we have it, before and after. Let that render out. So Jose, you see where I was going, right? I see you were trying to frame the reflection. I think that would have worked, but then it's interrupted by this little house of ducks. If this house of ducks wasn't there right here, I think that framing might have worked a little bit. But since it's there, now you have to focus on it, and that has to be the story of the picture. Um, but we still have the reflections and the trees and everything, so I think that looks good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Um, thanks, Jose. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it's 6:30 in the morning in California, right? Okay, one from John Yutze. Are you here, John, by any chance? Thank you so much for the coffee. I really appreciate that. Um, okay, I'm going to do auto gradation to bring the shadows up. And we need to crop in. We'll just do a square crop. He's kind of looking down, I think, right? Yeah, so we'll put him in the top right. Him or her, whatever, whatever. And let's frame. I guess that works. Oh, good. I'm glad you're here, John. And thank you so much for the coffee. It's very kind of you. Let's let's fix the sharpening. It's a little bit soft. I didn't look at your EXIF data. Wow, an EPM two. Oh my goodness. Oldie but a goodie with the 40 to 150 kit lens. All right. So yeah, I was not quite as sharp as the 40 to 150 Pro on an EM1, but still very impressive, right? Let's do 110 and oh, Andreas, how are you? I think that's about all I can do, and then let's try pop art. See if we can get some color on them. A little bit. Might be too much. Back it off a little bit here. Then let's bring up the shadow area. Good. Oh, screwed that up. And I'm gonna warm this one up. It's actually, I think that might do it some good. Just a hair. Slight tilt. I think that's it. All right, so there's the before and after. Um, yeah, pretty impressive. I feel like you misfocused a little bit. It's like, maybe not, but it's like it's a little more focused on the tail here than it is on the eye. And I know it's hard to do. Like, yeah, see how sharp this stick is relative to the squirrel? Your shutter speed was okay, right? Um, Shutter speed, yeah, your shutter speed was good. So I think I was just wondering if maybe there was some motion blur, but not really. I think that looks good right there. Best I can do anyway. All right, let's go to the next one here. This is from Lauren, and we have a JPEG. So we have cropped in on a fence with some ivy hanging over. The squirrel's not amused. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, Kilowin, how are you? I rarely have to do anything with Lauren's images. Um, and this is a wide crop too. I'd say if I just went over here, just so we can see more of the leaf. All right, let me frame it so it's about 1/3. Do a 4 by 5, 5 by 4. This negative space is not very interesting. But this is where I'm gonna go. And we're gonna just make it a little crispier. Add a little bit of gradation manually. Ooh, bringing out some nice. What I'd like to do is I need to increase the contrast on this. These are all, yeah, I can pull these down now. There we go. Yeah, a little contrastier than I'd like. Okay, pull down just a tad. Let's increase the reds. Pull the yellows down. Okay, and if I have any luck at all, I want to minimize this a little bit if I can. All right, I'm gonna call it. So there's the before and after. Um, yeah, just again, I'm just simplifying the scene. The negative space on the left side, we have all this bright area here, and there was a bright area here that to me was kind of distracting, even though it's blown out. Um, and then focusing in on just this one side, we can see a lot more detail of the leaves, and we don't lose any of the color that I think De Morcom was trying to put on show here. So that's the direction I think I would go with this image. All right. Let's see. That's an old. Oh, that's my old one. Oh, I need to put those on my forum. Delete that. See what we have here. This is from De Morcom. Like a ghost there. This looks like it's already been edited quite a bit. Um, I like the tones here, the yellows and the blues against this red brick. Interesting. Really, really cool. All I can think about is cropping though, just like that. And then maybe, I mean, not that this photo needed any editing. I don't know. Gonna mess around, DeMorcan. It was already a good image, but I'm just gonna try a different look on it. Not that this is any better. Darko, how are you? The day does find me well. I'm feeling pretty good today. Look at all these little ghosts in here. That is cool. Um, I'm debating. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. So here's my before and after. So in this image, um, I think the windows with the light are the most interesting thing, other than these like ghostly anomalies in the image. I think you already did a great job in the color version. I can't really improve on that. So I just cropped into the windows and converted to black and white, and then brought the ghostly anomalies back in. Um, I don't know if did you brush those in or did they? I don't know. Either way, ghosts creep me out. All right. Okay, just remind me, Image Writer, again. I'll actually let me just do it now because I have it up here. Download. This is just one. Oh, I see a couple more came in. Is that gonna download or not? Where's it downloading to? It's not prompting me for a location. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll come back to it. Yeah, my neck's getting better. No, I didn't go to a chiropractor though. I've been doing my own things. Neck brace, traction, ice pack, heating pad, some really like Bengay, like menthol gel for my muscles, and then an ibuprofen time to time, along with some neck exercises and things. Okay, we have a mountain here. Hold on, I need to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I was trying to mute the mic before I sneezed, but I couldn't find the button. All right. All right, Steve. So this is a beautiful landscape. And we have a foreground here. Let's see what our EXIF is. EM5 with a 40 to 150. Man, this is a popular lens today. F4 131 over 3200th of a second. Wow. Bright. You didn't dial any exposure comp. Wow, this came out really good for straight out of camera. Pretty good. Let me just straighten it a little bit. It feels crooked. Thank you, Plato. Just looking at this tree trunk, I want that to be straight up. And let me warm it up a little bit. I'm tempted to go black and white on this because there's not a lot of color here. I think I will. Let me see, muted. No, monotone. And a red filter. Whoops. And I might have to recompose this a little bit. Whoops. Let me let me do the haze first. Touch of clarity. Sharpness, turn off the noise filter. Let's just throw in just a little bit of fake sharpening here. And I like the tree being in the frame, but it's a little bit heavy in the frame at the same time. There, I think that balance is a little better. Just touch a bit on the contrast. Okay. Um, hmm. Try one or two crops here. Oh, you're welcome, Lauren. Uh, I don't know. The other crop I did, let me look at it again. Oh, that's too wide, too tight. I like, I'm gonna go with this one. And might need to go a little higher on this. And we'll call it here. Okay, I'm done. All right, so there's the before and after. I just converted black and white because there's not a lot of color in it to begin with. Let me, I need to turn the heater on. It's supposed to be like 65 today. But yeah, I think the problem with this image really is just the balance. That tree is too heavy in the frame. So I'm just trying to minimize that. So, experiment with a couple of different ways of cropping like I did, and I think you'll find the right balance. And then the processing, is okay, I think. Just I increased the contrast and went monochrome. I could split tone it a little bit just to give it a little more spice. Maybe just pull the shadows down, the cyan, and I think that'll look good. That's yeah, it's beautiful now. Yeah, I think the tree balance is now in the frame. And just a hint of cyan to kind of bring back that cool feeling that you had with the original image. And and that's it. Okay. Um, all right, let's see what we have here. This is from Jeff Painter, and it's like a stream in a park. I think, oh, Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff. Wow, this is a tough one. Um, this tree in the water, kind of coming out. I could use the framing here. This flower is a little bit too small in the frame. I like this frame right here, though, so I'm gonna do it. Mm, it's getting there. I added leaves. And I like it, but then the rose is getting too far away, so let me end it this way. Oh, hey, Noel. Yeah, I usually do them on Tuesdays. Tuesdays around this time is when I usually do them. So it's always almost always on Tuesdays, but uh, the timing is a little bit random, plus or minus an hour. Go with this. Pull in. Whoops. Pull in a nice little S curve. I'm gonna feel out the white balance again. I don't know what it is. I might have to calibrate my monitor again. I just not feeling the white balance today on all these images. Um, but the rose or this camellia is kind of, I want this to be an accent in the image, not the subject, but it's kind of turning into that. Try a little wider framing. I just don't want, I think that's better. Because when I framed in too close, then that little flower starts to kind of become the subject. And it's just too small to do that, but it's the color makes it a nice accent in the frame. So I guess I think I'll go with this. I'd like a little more something. Clarity. I need a little more bite in the frame. Okay, I think I'm just about done. I just want to just see. I got rid of all of this because there's, yeah, nothing there. I think this is where I'm gonna go. So let me fix this, let that render out. I mean, I was debating the only other thing I might try is like a soft focus. It needs to render. But it looks okay as is. Soft focus, yeah, I mean, you guys know what soft focus looks like. Let me just eyeball it though. Yeah, an alligator would offer more bite. You're funny, Lauren. Uh, all right. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a little less on the white balance. It's a little bit too yellow. It needs more red in the image, but now the flower is just an accent to the scene versus being the subject like I framed it originally. I think that looks good based on the before and after, right? Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good now. Okay. Or I'm happy with it. I don't know if you are, Jeff. You might think that sucks, but okay. Let's see. We got another flower. Wow, spring is definitely happening, isn't it? Everywhere. Yeah, how we're doing on details. Okay. A little bit there. But here. It's from John Follows. So yeah, we got some good detail right here. So this just needs a little bit of framing, a little bit less of the that, and pull in some gradation and add a vignette and push. Where are these blues at? Blue, yeah, I grabbed it in the right place. Do that. Give it a little more warmth. A bit more. And there, that feels better. All right, let's get some finer details in. Let's try a 2 pixel again. Any clarity. All right, I think I'm done. So there's a before and after. Yeah, basically a slight crop and warm it up a little bit, then punch in some sharpness for details. I think that's all this image needs. Wow, blue orchids. I've never seen blue orchids. I've only seen white ones. Oops. Yeah, I think warming it up helped the most. And then of course working with the shadows. I mean, it'd have been interesting maybe to crop in on this. Actually, do that. This is just another option, right? Let that render. So now we got rule of odds, and it's nice and close. So once this renders, we can see some detail. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Like that too. Maybe a little better. It just needs a little vignette, a little more than I put. Clarity doesn't mess with the colors really. It just pushes the highlights higher, and then the shadows darker, but in a kind of a granular way. So it makes things look crispier, but then it's you do it too much and it starts adding halos to everything. So you have to be kind of yeah, you have to be careful with it. Yeah, there's a lot of loading because Olympus Workspace is very slow, Victor. Um, no, I really can't upgrade much more than I'm using a laptop with a 16 core Ryzen with 40 gig of RAM with you know, I got 3 or 4 gig of NVMe, SSDs. The laptop is maxed out, and full on GTX 2060 video card. Dedicated RAM with eight gig of RAM on the video card. So it's kind of maxed out. I mean, short of I think I'd have to go with a desktop with a similar configuration where it'll have like 3 times the power. But okay, yeah, we're gonna talk. Actually, I'm having a live stream on Thursday and talking about computer hardware for computers, and I'm gonna have a special guest. So, you know, if you're not already familiar with computer hardware, it'll be a great stream for you. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, we have here some Peter Oddie, just some patterns, brick patterns. Uh, he must know I don't like crooked things. And these curves, oh my God, I'm just going nuts here. I've never had to shoot anything like this in my professional work in architecture. Everything I've shot has been square, you know? This is weird to me. Uh, too green. Compress the scene a little bit. Now we're seeing the patterns. Get gritty. Okay, let me just look at this for a second and see if I can find something. We have this one arch framing all the other arches. And this arch, I think actually right in here is where I want to. Yeah, I like this. All right, let me frame right in this area here. Better this side? No, this side is good. All right, this to me is a little more interesting than the overall scene. And I just need to just mess with the contrast. Let's split tone some red into it. All this brick way down here. Or to I like the black and white better, but I'm gonna stay with this. Hint of red. Okay, I'm gonna end it there. Oh, it's not showing. Yeah. So this image on the left, right? This area right in here is too much. Too much brick right here in the left side of the image. So just cropping all of that out and then focusing on all these curves, I think works. More so than the original. And then just going to very muted color. If you look closely, hopefully you can see there's still a lot of, not a lot, but there's still a hint of red in the brick is what I was going for. So there's the final image. I think that's more interesting. There's not so much brick on the left side. It's all sort of evenly balanced and twisting on the right bottom right side of this frame. I think that looks good. Okay, that's a great picture. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Plato. All right, so we have another stream here. It almost looks like fall instead of spring. Sorry, it's a JPEG. This is from Phil W. Okay. Um, needs to be straight. Let me just straighten it first and figure out what elements are going to be doable. Definitely soft focus. The frame is just too busy. Throw some contrast in. All right. I like this rocks here. It actually does. This needs to be a vertical. Okay, I got it. And some sharpening back in. Raho, how are you? Good to see you. I think you sent an image in, I think. I just can't get over to the right a little bit more, but This needs to be vertical and it needs to be kind of compressed a little bit. Okay. I don't know. Colors are not quite right. I don't think white balance is going to fix it, but I'm going to cool it off. Curious here. This is just a hair too. It's okay. All right, I'm going to call it there. Oh, so you only sent in one. You didn't have one for me to edit. All right, so this is my crop. I think a vertical crop works better on this. Whenever you have, something really close in the foreground like this, and then a long stream, not stream, but just a long way, a lot of distance from the very first object to the objects all the way here in the back. Um, I like to go vertical, so you feel like you can just kind of step into this frame if you were there. Um, and that's why I went vertical. I really like how you can kind of just you feel like you're standing right there on the stream. Uh, versus the image on the left with the wide crop just feels like a picture. And I may have overdone it with the saturation. The colors, I'm not quite crazy about the colors, but I would spend some time tweaking that. And like let me take a minute. It's coming to me what I my vision here. I would definitely make the greens darker and some of the particularly the yellow quite that much. Then just increase this effect a little bit. Oh, dang it. Like this much, not that much. Uh, then I'm gonna push the reds, get a tiny bit on the orange. The touch here. There we go. Right there. All right, that's now I'm done. Maybe just a hair bit warmer on the white balance. And there's a before and after. Sometimes when you it's a little bit too green now. But anyway, this is I would spend some time on the colors and then go from there. I would start with this framing and then work on the colors. All right, looks like last one here. This is from Garrett. Oh, Garrett might be back by now. He said he might come back. Wow, this is pretty solid. I mean, the framing is good. And this is a frame that a wide, vertical, I'm sorry, a horizontal or landscape crop works. The only thing I would do, I like how close he is. or how close you are, Garrett, to these flowers here. So I would just exaggerate that a little bit more, or even closer. I would come in on this flower, but it's cut off, so I'm gonna come into these. What you were originally 16 by 9. And then just pull the luminance back a little bit on these oranges. There, and the saturation just a tad. Then the blues, add on the blues. Still okay. Sharpness. All right. Uh, under. That's a bit too much. That doesn't look terrible, but all right. We'll stay with the color. All right. That's oh, I could probably get in a little tighter even there. No. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. What happened to my blues? Those back. All right. Now I'm done. Uh, okay, so there's the before and after. Um, I just wanted to come in a little tighter and make this flower bigger in the frame because it's facing the frame or it's facing the viewer. If I came in too tight, it was too tight, you know. Um, and then just punched around with the colors as much as I can with a JPEG. But yeah, I think just a slightly tighter crop just for this one flower to be kind of in your face, right? Uh, so if I put it by itself, I think it's arguable that the original framing wasn't bad either. Might have been fine. But I wanted this flower, I wanted one of the flowers facing you to be more prominent, but it still blends in with the rest of these. And then I messed with the colors to separate this yellow and orange a little better inside, and then brightened up the greens and pulled in the skies. Because this part of the sky was a little bit dim or soft, so I just pulled that in. All right, Tony says, oh, you guys are talking about the mitigation measures here for the virus, right? Uh, Time will tell. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go to Lightroom. Um, just eyeball, make sure I didn't miss any. Yep, I did them all. So we can do the viewer edits. And for some reason, all right, Garrett, let's start with these. For some reason, I can't download these all of a sudden. But here's one from Garrett. I guess it would help to see the original image, right? Let me do that first. I here's the original. So it's very dark, right? And basically the challenge with this image, we'll let that render a little bit. The challenge with this image is to brighten it up without too much noise, but then recover the details of the fur. And this was shot at like ISO 1000 on a kit lens. So there's a lot of challenges here. Uh, but I think you guys pulled out some nice stuff. So the more recent stuff is here. Let's see. Oh, there's three more images here for me to edit. Four. Let's look at the viewer images, and if I'm feeling okay, I'll come back to these. Novak is critique. Okay, I'll come back to these after we look at the viewer edits. So here's one with Garrett. So we did brighten up the image nicely. And if we punch in, let's let that render. Yep, kept a lot of the details. And then the framing is a wide frame. Um, so basically cutting off a lot of excess stuff on the top and the bottom. So it's a nice edit and good color. It's a little bit red for me, but the other reason I gave you guys a squirrel is apparently in some countries squirrels are like uncommon. I don't know, are squirrels pretty common where you guys are at? I'm just curious. For here, man, they're like a dime a dozen. There's squirrels everywhere. And Ellie is like, a squirrel hunter. She gets a few squirrels every year. Um, but yeah, this looks good. I like this edit. Very contrasty. Nice red. It's a little bit red. I don't remember this guy being that red in real life. I don't think our squirrels here are that red here in the U.S. At least not where I live. Um, and this is one, man. This is one by Phil. That's funny. I like that little like a baby's mouth in there. Pretty good. I think the rest of these are I have these in yeah, I have these in Lightroom back there. Excuse me. All right, so this was Jeff Painter. Wow, I like this. Very muted, nice tight crop, very good. Um, Another one. Nice clean edit. Still very low contrast. Let's see, the details are good though. Good processing there. Really tight crop. Cut the tail out completely. And this, yeah, this one, sorry, who did this one? Joni. Okay, Joni. I like this. It's kind of a muted color. I like this actually. Very muted. And then this one, yeah, this is a good crop. Not much of a crop, just a little off top bottom, and not at all. This is from Matt. Okay, Matt. Good clean edit, bringing up all the shadows, and this is definitely very close to what I saw with my naked eye. And really good really good work on the details, especially here on the tree, and I mean really good sharpening. I think this is the best sharpening I've seen so far. I mean, I've only seen 3 or 4 images, but this is really good. Yeah, good job on the processing there. And this one I like. This is kind of gritty looking, right? With the contrast. A little bit over sharpened look because there's still noise like down here in the fur and stuff. But overall, I like the look of this. Because, when you print this, you won't see all that noise so much. I like this though. I think the contrast somehow is really it's really good contrast on this squirrel. Ah, what is this? Some kind of like watercolor replacement of the background. That's pretty funny. Oh, I'm sorry. This was Matt, right? Oh, Steve. Okay, Steve. I like this one actually. Steve G. I like this one a lot. Even though the processing's not perfect, right, with sort of the sharpening artifacts, when you back off and you print this, I think this would look really good. Like this would look good in the hallway of somebody's house, or my house, I should say. And then this one, this got to be Dave. Oh, Scott. Oh my goodness, Scott. Not bad. A little rough on cutting the fur out. You're gonna have to work on that. I've seen people do a really good job with cutting things out, even when it's all hairy like this. But I like the processing you did on the squirrel itself. It's just a little bit too brown. That's cool. Okay, and then, ooh, this is nice. I mean, the processing wise, look at the separation of color here between the gray and this brown. And the nose, wow, the nose is kind of brown, and man, this is really good processing. Really good job on the details. Look how sharp the whiskers are. I mean, this is a 1000 ISO picture, and then you see how there's no like sharpening artifacts in the fur down here like there was in the previous one? And this again, this is kind of why I sent it out to you guys. I wanted to see how you guys do it, this kind of image. And this is really good. Who did this one? Steve Page. Good job, Steve. Oh, and you're here. Man, you did an excellent job on this. I think this is probably the best one processing wise. Wow, this is nice. You can see the shift to red though, or magenta. Let's look at the details. I think, yeah, A little bit too magenta-ish, kind of. But you can see the sharpening artifacts. Like you didn't see this on Steve Page's, and the sharpening artifacts are there because there was a lot of noise in the image because of ISO 100 or 1000. But again, at ISO 1000, if you just back off and look at it normally or print this, you're not going to see the noise. And it's okay to do high ISO on very low contrast scenes, where you don't have to worry about dynamic range. Um, but yeah, Steve Page set the bar pretty high. I mean, I like this edit, but wow. Kilowin, good job. Good job, Kilowin. But we all need to do better. Like this is amazing, the editing here. Okay. Um, this is nice. Wow, this is another one. But yeah, again, you can see a lot of sharpening artifacts in here. But I like the crop and the color processing. It's still kind of a muted color and it's weird. All right, let's go to the next one. Um, okay, let me punch in and make sure it's rendered. All right, nice crop. Good editing on the colors. Oh, excuse me. Challenge here is as you can see, this has been over sharpened and then denoised. So this is when somebody over sharpens and then uses the luminance noise reduction to bring back the artifacts, but it's still there. Um, and I trust me, I've been there a million times, struggling with images like this. But good job overall. We're getting there. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Who was this? This was from Garrett. Okay, Garrett. Good job. I like the overall look of the picture though. Um, okay, which is all that matters in the end. Oh, this is cool. Really heavy vignette. I would have cropped it a little tighter, but I like this heavy vignette getting, just now your eyes totally drawn to the squirrel. And then yeah, good job on the sharpening. Squirrel's so cute. Good separation of colors. Just a hair. Yeah. I don't know. This is nice. This is a good edit. Um, I'm gonna say Marcel. Yeah, I got it. Marcel. Marcel's really he likes to really bring the exposure down, then just raise the light or light paint just the areas that matter. So this looks like maybe a radial filter to create the vignette, and then the other normal processing for sharpening and noise. And yeah, I like it. All right, a black and white. This is Marcel again, right? Uh, because of the lighting. I think he was trying to go for like a moonlight type look, which almost there. It needs a little bit of a blue tint, and I think that would be perfect. Um, yeah, just a little blue tint, and then I would get that feeling that this was like a moonlight shot. Yeah, this got to be Marcel. Yeah, good job, Marcel. Nice tight crop. It needs the little baby mouth like the other person did. I forget who. But that's cool. Focusing right in on just the expression. And yeah, looks like you just applied some noise reduction but didn't do any sharpening really. And this is kind of what I think you would get if you didn't do any sharpening and just applied noise reduction. Okay, Marcel. Wow, I can't believe this is yours. Wow, because so different. Then yeah, we saw this on Yeah, Phil. That's great. I like that, the little mouth on there. Oh, this is this is weird. It's got like little red splotches here and here and over here and up here. But it's almost like the squirrel is in a fight, and these are blood marks from the other animal that got on him, or he just escaped Ellie's grip. John follows. Okay, John. Wow. Why did you paint this red in? That's weird. But that's what it looks like. It looks like he was just done with a battle to me. And wow. Nice. Nice clean edit here. Good separation, very tight crop. This almost has like it's almost it's sort of borderline like oil painting when you get in really close because every all the details have been smudged slightly, like right in here. So this doesn't look like noise reduction to me. It looks like a slight oil paint filter with a little bit of sharpening. That's what like a Photoshop job, which is fine. I mean, it looks great. So let's see. Raho, good job, Raho. I can see. Did you use like a slight oil paint filter or something on it? Because it just feels like it's just got that little bit of brush stroke feel to it to me. You heading out, Lauren? All right, we'll see you later. Take it easy. Thanks for dropping in. And this is, let's see. Good job. Good job on the sharpening. Good separation of color. Just the green is a little bit too strong, but you really brought a lot of detail in without bringing the noise in. There's some sharpening artifacts. I'm pixel peeping, right? Big deal. But um, that's in my mind. That's why I sent this image out. Is I wanted to pixel peep how you guys do on details, along with because overall it's just a picture of a squirrel. How much can you really do with it creatively, right? um, other than other than photoshopping a mouth and under the nose. Wow, okay. This is good. A little too much green, but okay. Let's see who did this one. DeMorcan. Wow. Okay, DeMorcan. Just a bit over processed. Okay. So you didn't do any kind of filters. Just a little, but the processing's good then. I think you really at the limit of the processing there before you have to go into some hardcore like filters and layering and all of that. But I think you did a really good job. And this one's good too though. It just the sharpening is, yeah, good job sharpening. Got rid of a lot of the noise, and there's only a few artifacts, but you have to really look for them. Yeah, the squirrel did strike a good pose. I agree. Oh, this is I bet this is the Morkin again. Let me see. Yeah. I don't know why, but just right away this felt like a Demorkin image. See, this one you sharpened but didn't kill the noise quite as much, but still got rid of a lot of the noise. But I love this sepia. This is very similar to what I did actually. I'll show you guys mine. It may come up kind of randomly. And this one, oh, I like this. The white framing. Squirrel's a little bit too red. You guys must have red squirrels or something where you live. Everybody's, not everybody, but a couple of you guys have pushed the squirrel red, which is the squirrels are more grayish brown here than they are red. Um, let's punch in to get it to render. Oh my God, this is hardcore. It's all pixelated. Has it been downsized? Let's see the size. Nope. So this was intentional, huh, Serge? Whatever filter you used, there's a lot of pixel blocking here that's killing the detail. Interesting. I mean, it's not noticeable on the tree, but it gets very noticeable in the softer areas here. So, okay. The framing is good. The little white border, oh, excuse me, helps. I only slept about 3 hours last night. I was trying to do some astrophotography. That's the last one. Where's my edit? Need to find mine. The European squirrels are red. Okay, burned. That makes sense. I don't know what kind of tree it was, Lysippus. All right, let me pull up my edit. I went very gritty, black and white. Did I show you guys my image already? Where's my Instagram folder? I'm gonna post it on Instagram later. Sort by date, date modified. My image. Let's see. Oh, synchronize. Maybe it'll come up now. Yeah, here's my edit. Okay. So let's see how I did on the details. I did terrible. Look at all the artifacts. Because I decided to go totally gritty. I didn't do anywhere near as good a job as many of you. But I was kind of going for the overall look, right? Heavy vignette and a very gritty black and white image. I don't know. I think Steve's was the best. Where is that? It was this one, right? Yeah. This to me is the best one in terms of the processing, you know, and the color. It's reddish, but enough brown that it could still be kind of from this area. But this is my favorite one overall. Not that it's a competition or anything, right? We're just here to kind of have fun and learn. But I'm gonna go ahead and this was a lot of fun too. These were all interesting edits, all really good. All right. I saw. Let me pull up. Let me ask. Are you guys still here? If you're here, I can edit these. Otherwise, I'll wait till next week. So you guys want me to? It's one, two, three, four. If Ivan's here and Goran is here, Novak is just a critique, and AG is here. Are you guys? Are you guys or girls? I don't think any of you guys are ladies here. You're still here? Okay, Goran. I'll start with yours. Um, what I don't understand is when I download this, it just pops up here. Why doesn't it go to a folder? File, save as. Where's it going? Oh, is it going to my clip art? I have no idea. Pictures. This drive. Here we go. Pictures. Right here. So I'm going to save it here and go back. Synchronize this. All right, let's develop this one. And EM5 Mark II with 45 millimeter, 1/4000th at f1.8. So pretty bright day, but I think a really good choice of lens, and it's good framing. Um, Let me look at this full screen, Goran. I just need to get a feel for what I can do differently, if anything. I don't think I really need to do anything differently. The ship is sailing into the scene, and the buildings are a nice backdrop. The ship is the subject, apparently. At least that's what my eye saw first, was the boat. I might do a slight crop off the bottom. Like so. Just a little bit tighter. And just going to click auto here. And it's a JPEG, so I'm not going to be able to recover too much of the sky. Let me work with the color first, but I'm leaning towards a black and white. Wow, you did a really good job framing this, and it's perfectly level. I don't have to straighten this out at all. Haze, 30, and texture. Um, it almost looks like golden hour now. If I do something crazy. That's not really. I'm just trying to give it a little more golden hour look. We're doing on the details. We're still good here. Very sharp. Um, Slight vignette here. Okay. Yeah, without getting too carried away, I think that's all I would do. I think it was already really framed well and exposed well and, you know, really good picture already. All I'm doing is just adding a few accents to it, really. So, if you look at the before and after, um, why, there's the before and after. So all I did was warm it up to try to make it look more like golden hour with a little bit of light painting. And I think that looks a little more interesting. I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. This was from Goran. I don't know, Goran. What do you think? I hope you like it. And just punched up the contrast. But it was really a good picture to begin with. That's why it's kind of easy to edit. You could go a lot of different directions with this in terms of editing. Because I could go black and white, and that looks really good too, right? Just going black and white. I would crank up the dehaze on a black and white a little more and some more texture. But yeah, a black and white looks really good too, right? Um, or back off the dehaze and go back to color. I think um, I think that looks really good. And then the other thing is this. I put a little grad filter here because the water here is a little bit too bright. So that's what I did. I just wanted to darken that. All right, I'm going to end it here. I know there was a couple more I need to edit, but I have to get to a lunch date. So let me just bookmark. So I'm just going to make a verbal note. So when I watch this stream later, I'll know that I didn't edit this one or this one, well, or this one. So I can delete everything down here. And we looked at that. I think we looked at that. Yeah, we looked at this. Okay. This is from Gorn also. So I don't need these anymore. Oh, and I just did that one. All right, so I got to edit these three for next week, if not sooner. I may do it sooner, but I think, like I said, I have to go. Plus, my neck is getting a little bit stiff. So, where's my? So you guys have a good rest of your week. I'll be back on Thursday, no later than Thursday, with Marco, one of my viewers, but he has his own with a few other people has his own YouTube channel, and we'll be talking about computer hardware, upgrading laptops, all kinds of stuff, for photo editing and video editing. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thanks again for you guys sending those images in, editing my image. It was a lot of fun editing yours, and we'll see you guys again next time.